Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I'm doing my second in the line of So You Dated a Police Impersonator, kind of aimed at Jen, just with the questions we have for her, well, questions I have for her, but I hope I'm speaking for others. And the feedback I got on the first video was so amazing. Thank you so much. And I see a lot of people now are kind of making videos, which I think is awesome because I think, the tide raises all boats. I think it brings more attention to the other guys who are better at this than I am, like Josh from the Vault and MSG retired, of course, and PT. Those guys are really in it. My thing is just I have curiosity and questions that I want answered. So I asked them here in the hopes that somebody can answer them for me. But somebody had asked me to do a video of the timeline of Jeremy's life. And MSG retired has done a real good job on that because he did it in terms of Jeremy's stolen valor. All the times Jeremy says that he's been in the military, he's jumped into Fallujah, all complete nonsense. So somebody asked me, hey, could you do a timeline just to show, if there was ever a chance he could have done that? And the short answer is no, 1,000%. There's just no 12 years in the military. Where did he fit that in? Especially because you were arrested at 18. So I don't know. I'm just going to do it real quick because there are some little tidbits which I find interesting that I think other people might not know and will find interesting. Jeremy goes into a gas station at the age of 18 with a credit card that doesn't work. He's got his little police explorer badge on his belt. And, the gal says to him, how come you don't have the card that police have to fill up their cars? And Jeremy doesn't say, I don't have that card because I'm not an actual police officer. Jeremy says, I forgot it. So Jeremy likes to do that. He likes to skate around the truth. And he thinks he's not actually lying. That's where he gets his, wait, I'm confused, And then FYI, guess what kind of car Jeremy was driving? He's driving a tricked out Dodge Shadow that looks like a police car. So even at the age of 18, he's doing this stuff. And I don't mean to get off track here, but I think a lot of us have done like the explorer thing in no matter what field it might be in. I did a medical explorers thing when I think I was in 8th grade, where you go to the hospital and the doctors talk to you and stuff like that. But you do that when you're in 8th grade. You do that at 14, 15, 13. At 18, to have a police explorer badge, so cringy. But that's typical Jeremy. So Jeremy rings out, gets $14 worth of gas, doesn't have any money to pay for it. She lets him walk because she thinks he's a cop, because he certainly hasn't dissuaded that idea that he's a cop. And he never comes back. So she reports him for police impersonation because she thought he was a cop. The little tidbit about that was the Dodge Shadow that was tricked out that I don't know if a lot of people realize he was driving a tricked out Dodge Shadow even at that age. So Jeremy gets arrested at 18 years old. Jeremy is born in 1980. He gets arrested in 1998. He's 18. Easy enough to figure out, right? So he spends, he's in jail till 2004. So from 18 to 24, he clearly is not in school of any kind. Automatically, it debunks his college years. He went to college and he did his ROTC training to become an officer in the military during that time. I know some people in prison, they like to tell, when they don't want to say they were in prison, they like to tell people they went to college. So maybe that's what Jeremy's confused about. Maybe he thinks that was college. I don't know. With Jeremy, anything's possible. That's actually not true. I actually don't think Jeremy is that stupid. He's kind of dopey. But because he's quick on the fly, right? I mean, Jeremy can come up with stuff like this. So I don't think he's stupid, which means he's lying even more than we think he is. So, born in 80, gets arrested at 18. He's in prison or jail till 2004. I guess that would be prison. He's in prison till 2004. He gets out 7 months later. He meets the girl in the club. And for that, he gets 1 year and 5 years probation. So now he comes out of jail in 2005 after the 1 year. So now he's been convicted of lewd and lascivious behavior with a minor. So what does Jeremy do right when he gets out of jail for being convicted of a lewd and lascivious with a minor charge? He starts a youth airsoft military fighting team. I don't know. But when you've been convicted of a crime involving a minor, you don't then go out and create a group for minors. But again, typical Jeremy. He's already ruined his life over $14. So very typical Jeremy. So he goes back into jail because it's a probation violation. So he's back in jail for another 5 years. Right? So where does that get us? That gets us to, he's out of prison in 2004. He goes back in, gets us to like 28. Now he's like 28 and he's out. Now, as many of us have heard time and time and time again, Jeremy, since 2018, has been saying, I've been doing my business for 10 years with no problems. So where is the 12 years in the military? Because I just outlined pretty simply his 18-year age to his 2008-year age. So and then he says from 2008 to 2018, he was running his business. So where's the military? How did it happen? And how did you become an officer as a convicted ex-offender? So, yeah. So Jen, either you know all this stuff and you're helping him be a fraud, or you're so much in love. I know you two are like Ross and Rachel. But remember, Josh from the Vault and I put our heads together the other night, and we found out that Jeremy told Jen or I'll just speak to Jen. Jeremy told you he doesn't speak to Rania. Josh and I put our heads together and found out he talks to Rania. He spoke to Rania 146 times. So that's not, he's not being truthful to you. He's not being truthful to anybody ever. But, Jen, when some people aspire for a mate, they look for certain things. What is it in Jeremy? He gives you relevance. Without him, what would you have? I gotta think you'd be better off, quite frankly. But you need therapy, and Jeremy needs therapy, and everybody needs therapy. Sometimes I feel bad for people because I don't think they were born this way. I think things have happened. And again, Jeremy's mom has 2 sons, and they're both convicted ex-offenders. I mean, that has to fall on her to some degree. That doesn't just happen. So Jen, if you could let us know whether you understand that this Fallujah, and I was a Oviedo police officer, and I was an Orlando police officer, and I was all this stuff. I mean, this timeline that I just laid out, it's pretty simple. I don't need to be a detective, and the detectives all know this. So everybody you speak to, like when you call a detective and you're giggling and you and the detective are having such a great time and you're flirting with him and it's obvious, he knows that you're insane and that Jeremy's insane. It's all for show. When they hang up the phone on you, when the conversation is over, they just roll their eyes and they're like, what is the matter with this gal? So Jen, please get back to us. Let us know what you're thinking, because we would love to know. Take care, everyone. Speak to you soon.